Hello and welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, where we go beyond the headlines and uncover the truth behind the media frenzy. I'm your host, Adrian, and today we're diving into a story that has stirred up strong reactions across royal circles and social media alike. The media has latched onto a 2021 video of Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, twerking playfully during what sources close to the couple have described as a light-hearted family moment. The clip resurfaced recently as part of a private celebration for Lilibet Diana's fourth birthday, and unsurprisingly it was twisted by critics and palace insiders into something scandalous. But here, on Meghan and Harry Tales, we don't just repeat what the tabloids say, we dig deeper. We question why something as harmless and human as a mother celebrating with joy can provoke such bitterness from royal sources, and what that really tells us about the state of the relationship between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family. So buckle in, because over the next hour we're unpacking the truth behind this so-called controversy, what it reveals about Harry's ongoing attempts at reconciliation, and why Meghan continues to be unfairly targeted simply for living her life on her own terms. Let's start with the facts. On Wednesday, June 4th, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor turned 4 years old. A beautiful milestone for any parent, and one that Meghan and Harry reportedly celebrated in the privacy of their home in Montecito, surrounded by close friends and family. In honour of the occasion, a short and playful video surfaced showing Meghan in a relaxed, joyful moment from 2021, dancing, laughing, twerking, a little likely, in the comfort of their own home, possibly during a family gathering or downtime with friends. The video wasn't meant for public consumption, nor was it officially released as a PR stunt. And yet the British tabloids and so-called palace insiders pounced on it like lions on a gazelle. Suddenly, a 3-second clip of a happy woman, a wife and mother celebrating in her own skin, became ammunition for royal critics. One anonymous palace source reportedly told the Daily Mail, quote, "This is exactly why Queen Elizabeth knew the half-in, half-out model would never work." Another said, "Meghan and Harry have always been a law unto themselves." Now let's take a moment to address the hypocrisy. This is a family that has survived genuine scandals involving adultery, cash for honours allegations, and friendships with deeply problematic individuals. And yet somehow, a woman dancing fully clothed, smiling, enjoying herself is where they draw the line. If anything, this reaction reveals less about Meghan's behaviour and more about the entrenched discomfort the institution feels toward a strong, confident, mixed-race woman refusing to be boxed in. We must ask ourselves, why does Meghan's joy threaten the establishment so much? Because Meghan embodies something the royal family has long struggled to accept: individuality. From the moment she joined the royal fold, Meghan brought with her a sense of purpose, a modern, independent woman who had already made a name for herself as a philanthropist, an actress, and a vocal advocate for equality. She wasn't entering the institution to be moulded, she came in with her own voice. And that voice was, and still is, incredibly powerful. To portray a joyful moment from 2021 during which Meghan was clearly being herself, relaxed and happy, as evidence of her being unfit for royal duties, is absurd. Let's remember, this is a woman who, since stepping back from official duties, has launched a podcast centered on breaking down stereotypes, signed a multi-million-dollar deal to tell her own story through creative projects, and co-founded the Arkwell Foundation, which is actively working to promote community healing and digital civility. Is that not the work of someone using their platform for good? The palace, instead of recognizing this as a modern extension of royal service, has consistently treated it as betrayal. And Meghan's dance? It's just the latest excuse to criticize her for daring to be human. Now let's talk about Harry. Much has been made in recent weeks about his apparent desire to reconcile with his family. His attendance at the Invictus Games, his solo trip to the UK for the King's coronation, and his recent statements about hoping for healing all point toward a man extending an olive branch. And yet, according to royal sources, King Charles has decided to park the Harry issue indefinitely. One insider even said, "There is no rapprochement in sight." Why? Because Harry dared to tell the truth. His memoir, Spare, was raw, honest, and emotionally charged, a departure from the stiff upper lip tradition the royals cling to. He shared his grief, his trauma, his family dynamics, and for that he's been branded a traitor. But what Harry has done in opening up about mental health, therapy, loss and identity is powerful. It's healing, not just for himself, but for thousands of men who see themselves in his journey. Yet the institution seems more concerned with silencing him than healing with him. If the monarchy is truly a family, if it's truly about love and duty, then why is there no space for reconciliation? Because it was never really about duty, it was about control. The media has highlighted the contrast between the Sussexes and the working royals on the day the video emerged. Prince William was serving breakfast to military personnel. Camilla was attending a floriculture event. King Charles, undergoing cancer treatment, managed to attend church. All commendable, yes, but let's be honest, these engagements, while symbolic, are largely ceremonial. Smiling, shaking hands, unveiling plaques. And while there is value in tradition, it's unfair to pretend that Meghan and Harry aren't doing real work just because their work looks different. Through Archewell, the Sussexes have funded mental health initiatives, supported women's shelters, addressed vaccine equity, and launched content aimed at breaking down social stigma. That's impact. So why is it that when William flips pancakes, it's called service, but when Meghan shares her joy, her culture, or her creativity, it's labelled self-promotion? Because the system was never built to celebrate her. It was built to contain her. Let's not forget Meghan's video didn't leak through a hack. It didn't come from Archewell. It emerged most likely through a private friend or associate, perhaps even unintentionally. But once it was out there, the UK tabloids pounced. Headlines screamed disgrace and twerk shame. Commentators called it undignified. And once again, Meghan was held to a standard no one else is. Let's recall Prince Harry has been photographed partying in Las Vegas, dressed up in controversial costumes in his youth and facing far more serious scrutiny in the past. And yet he was allowed to grow up, to evolve, to change. Meghan, on the other hand, is trapped in a media loop where every smile is a scandal, every word is weaponized. It's exhausting, and it's unfair. She has been called too loud, too American, too ambitious, too expressive. What's really being said here is this: she's too powerful. And that power, when not in service to the institution, is seen as dangerous. But here's the truth. Meghan's power is her authenticity, and the world is seeing it more clearly every day. The palace sources claim Queen Elizabeth knew it would all end in disaster. But did it? Harry and Meghan are thriving not without struggle, but with dignity. They have 2 beautiful children, a successful production company, a foundation rooted in compassion, and most importantly, they have peace. The royal family, meanwhile, is clinging to tradition in a world that is changing rapidly. Their refusal to evolve may one day be seen not as resilience, but as irrelevance. The story of Harry and Meghan isn't one of disaster. It's one of evolution, of standing up, speaking out, and building something new when the old systems refuse to change. The palace says Harry's bid to reconnect is parked. But reconciliation is not a one-way street. And forgiveness without accountability is just silence dressed up in royal robes. As we close today's episode, I want to speak directly to you, our viewers. Ask yourself this: who benefits from tearing Meghan down? Who gains when every story about Harry is spun as betrayal? Why are joy, authenticity and individuality so threatening to the monarchy? Meghan's video isn't a scandal, it's a moment of joy. Harry's hope for peace isn't a manipulation, it's maturity. The palace may try to frame them as outcasts, but in truth they are pioneers. They're rewriting the rules, reclaiming their voices, and showing the world that royalty isn't about crowns and ceremonies, it's about courage, compassion, and being unapologetically yourself. Thank you for joining me today on Meghan and Harry Tales. If you found this episode thought-provoking, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who believes in truth over tradition. Until next time, I'm Adrian, and remember, when the world tries to define you, define yourself louder. Let me know if you'd like this adapted for subtitles, broken into smaller social media content, or delivered in audio-friendly formatting.